All right, in this video, we're mostly going to focus in on effects controls, keyframes, rotation, and blurring the background. So let's get after it. We have this sound clip that is 15 seconds long, and I'm just going to already drop it in there. And everything we do is going to be within this 15 seconds here. So I might as well zoom in to have the most control possible. And basically, it's narration talking about camera operations. The next thing we're going to do is listen to it and see what we have to say.
So you see an image like this and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this?
Okay, so let's focus in on that part. So I'm going to grab this bird and I want that bird to start basically once he starts saying those things. So first thing we're going to do is go to effects controls up here on the left side. And right now I'm not even seeing the whole image. So I'm going to scale this down. In fact, what you can do is we could even keyframe it in a way. So we're going to just go to the beginning of the clip, do a little scale thing. And I'm going to go a little further along, and then I'm going to do another scale thing, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Okay, and what that's going to do is kind of keyframe us in. So let's try that out.
So you see an image like this, and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this?
Okay, so you could see I want to put a question mark up right here.
And you wonder, how?
So right here, how? So I'm going to go over to graphics right here, and I'm going to make a title. Okay, so you can go to browse or edit, but if I do to browse, I'm just going to type in simple. Okay, and it takes a second to come up. Simple. Okay, you got that, buddy? All right, and it takes a second, but it will come up. And I'm just going to go down here to something really simple. I'm just going to grab this one, and I'm going to put it right on top of that image right there. Okay. Right now it just says title. I don't want that. So if I double click on it, or you can use these items right here. Basically, I'm going to click on this title and I'm going to change it into just a large question mark, and that's not large enough. So I can change it over here to the size that I would like, and I can just click on it here. Or if I wanted to, I could use the selection tool and just drag it to as big as I want. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I noticed that it probably should have like a drop shadow or something like that. Do they have drop shadow? Yeah, it's over here on the right side. I'm going to click on shadow, and it's kind of intense, so you can kind of spread that out. Oop, not that way though. Hold on, do they have a, you can make it transparent, there we go. Perfect. Now it's kind of distracting with the background as well, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to blur the bird picture here. So the bird picture, I'm going to go over here to, I'm on effects controls, but I'm going to go down here now and find effects. Here's effects right here. And I'm going to do Gaussian blur. Okay. I don't even know if it's spelled Gaussian. There it is. Or type in blur if you want. But it's Gaussian blur. So G-A-U. Right here is Gaussian blur. And I'm going to drop it on that bird picture. Now it's at 0. That's where I want it. But right here where the question mark starts, I am going to use the timer right here. And I'm going to go back a little bit now and do another one, okay? But on this one that I started, oh, honestly, it's easier to do this. I'm gonna delete that one. So it's at 0, but when I go in here a little bit, when the question mark shows up, I'm going to do another little dot, and then I'm going to blur it out. So you see how it gets blurry? Wow. And I'm going to blur it to like 100 or something like that. So let's watch see what we have now, okay?
You see an image like this, and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this?
Okay. So that's pretty good. I'm going to actually grab that bird picture and bring it all the way to the left so we're seeing it earlier.
So you see an image like this and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this?
Okay, that's pretty good, but you'll notice like my animation doesn't start until this point.
So you see an image.
So what you can do is you can actually grab that point and bring it all the way to the left, and now it moves throughout.
So you see an image like this and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this?
Okay, great. So I've showed you blur, showed you some keyframes. This is excellent. Okay. Let's move on to the next thing, okay?
You know they have a nice camera, but...
Oh, you mentioned camera there.
You know they have a nice
camera, okay. So I'm going to actually cut those things to that spot and go back to my project, which my project was called test or something like that. Oh, wrong test. There it is. And I'm going to drop in my camera picture, okay? And with that, let's go ahead and scale it up, you know, make it so it's using up the whole frame size, or you see it's getting cut off. So, you know, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to bring my little bird picture over, and I'm actually going to stop that Gaussian blur again. going to do another dot there and another dot here. Okay. But essentially, I can actually delete the second one here. So what this does is it's no blur, gets very blurry, stays blurry. So at 119 still, and I do another dot, and I'll go back to 0. Okay. Boom. Okay. Now, why did I do that? Because I'm going to take this camera picture. And by the way, you've got to select the item that you were trying to edit. I'm going to go to this camera picture here, though, and I'm going to resize it and move it around. So I'm going to actually grab it from here. It's if you just click motion right here, and you can move it around and grab the corners. I'm going to resize it, and I don't know, put it right here, I guess. And what I want to do is I want to get rid of this white. Okay, so I can also go under effects again down here and type in ultra. So here's ultra key, and I can drop that on the white here. Okay, and what this does is if I grab this eyedropper, again, I'm selected on the camera, grab the eyedropper, and I can select that white, and it removes it. And what you can also do is do aggressive, and it makes sure it does a really good job. Now, if I have white in the picture other places, though, it's going to remove it from there as well. Okay, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, there's other ways we can cut out, but that's the easiest way. Alt key and just select it. Same thing if you do green screen. All right, let's watch it.
This, and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this? You know they have a nice camera, but how do they freeze time exactly? Well, I can tell you right now, it's about shutter.
So I say shutter speed here. So again, we're going to go back to our shutter speed picture then. I'm going to drop it in there. And now we're going to do one last thing, that's do an animation with some movement here. So I'm going to have shutter speed just pop up like this, and then I want to...
If you have a lot of light available.
Okay, so a lot of light available. So I'm going to have an arrow fly in, okay? So again, I'm going to go to graphics here, and if I just click off everything, and I could just go to browse again, and that title is fine. I'm just going to use that again. So I'm going to have it pop in right here. And oh, you know what? No, let's not do that. Let's do. I want an arrow. So like I could go find an arrow or whatever. So I'm going to show you another way to do it. And basically, what you would do here is use this pen tool, and I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to draw an arrow. Okay, and it's going to seem a little funky at first because it's a pen tool, but basically the outline of an arrow. All right, and there it is. So it actually created this layer right here for me, and I can then manipulate it and move it around. So I'm going to go back to this tool here to move it around. You probably could have done a better job than me. You can go back to the pen tool and grab those individual points and move them, which is kind of nice. Make it a little nicer looking. Okay, so there we go. And I can go back to the pointer tool here and move it as needed. Okay, so we have that, and what I can do now is have that zoom in. So when I mention it, I'm going to go to this motion here again, and I can do position, and I'm going to do a dot. There it is, the dot. That's where I want it to start. And maybe, where do I want to say it? Let's find.
Better speed. If you have a lot of light available.
So maybe I'm going to put another dot here, and it's going to be at that spot. But the first one, I'm going to have it off screen. So I'm going to grab that selection tool and just move it off screen. And so now it's going to fly in.
If you have a lot of light available, you can run at a very...
Oh no, where'd it go? Oh no. Okay, I see what happened. So you actually want to move it. Oh, it didn't work. Hold on a second. Oh, I got to click motion. There it goes. So click motion, then move it off screen. See these little dots? It's showing you each frame that it's going to move forward.
A lot of light available. You can run at a very high shutter speed.
Okay, and so like I could have a stop there, for example, and then I say shutter speed. So maybe again I would make another arrow or whatever. You can actually duplicate these layers. So I'm going to duplicate this one. That doesn't show over here. How do I do that then? Yeah, maybe I don't need to. All right, you get the idea. It comes in, and what I could do is, here's the shutter speeds, right? So I'm actually going to do another dot, and I'm going to go ahead and use that, click on motion here, and I'm going to move it down here. And what's crazy is I'm going to then have it maybe move left and right. So, so I'm there, do another little dot, and I'm going to move it over here. Oh, you know what? I can't do it that way. I have to click motion each time. Whoop. Move it over here. another little dot. Oops, I had that dot right there already. And then I do motion again, and I move back to over here. So basically it's creating all these. By the way, you can just like delete all these if it's not working right and start over. Let's see how it says.
A lot of light available. You can run at a very high shutter speed.
Okay, cool. It looks like it needed to last a little longer. So.
Very high shutter speed.
And then maybe I want to exit out, so I clip it right there. All right, that's pretty much it. I don't want to go too much longer. So this is what it should look like from start to finish when you're done.
So you see an image like this, and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this? You know they have a nice camera, but how do they freeze time exactly? Well, I can tell you right now, it's about shutter speed. If you have a lot of light available, you can run at a very high shutter speed, so you can freeze the action.
All right, that's pretty good. I guess the last thing I'd do is add the rotation on here at the end. Let's grab the camera. So I have it selected already here, and it's already got the motion right here. And I'm going to do a dot for rotation and scale. And then I'm going to go earlier, and I'm going to do another dot and rotation. And basically, I'm going to spin it around. Woo! And for this scale, I'm also going to go down to nothing. And that way it's going to spin and fly in.
But how do they...
Whoa. And maybe I want it to go a little faster, so I'm going to move these dots closer together now.
Camera. But how do they freeze time?
Yeah, so that looks pretty good now.
Yes, and you wonder, how in the heck did they do this? You know they have a nice camera, but how do they freeze time exactly? Well, I can tell you right now, it's about shutter speed.
All right, this looks great. Okay, once you have this, you're good. Show it to me for points. See you.